Welcome everyone to another episode of Southern Sorcery. Today we are so excited to be bringing you the Jeskai Striker Precon, and of course giving away a copy of this deck, and we will be giving you all the details on how to enter here in just a moment. But first, before we get to that, huge shout out to Wizards of the Coast for selecting us to be ambassadors for this incredible set, Tarkir Dragonstorm. We are super excited for that. And also we want to give a huge shout out to Nerd Gear for sponsoring us. They make the amazing playmat sanctuary, which can hold up to 12 playmats, and you can get on Amazon or on their website, nerdgear.gg. And if you use code Southern at checkout, you get 5% off in addition to whatever else they're doing. Discount wise, it stacks, so that's really good. And they've also got sleeves, playmats, dry erase tokens, and bunches of other stuff. So they've got all your accessories ready to go, so go check them out. But enough of that, let's get into what you came here for, which of course is the Precon upgrade and the Precon giveaway. To enter to win the Precon, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, like this video, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. Spoiler alert, we're giving away all 5 of these Precons, so you're going to want to come back in the next coming days as each of these decks get revealed. We will do our upgrade for that deck, and then we will have the giveaway tied to that video. So from now until like next Wednesday, we're going to be dropping those videos. So be sure you come back to enter to win the other Precons. And then lastly, just drop a comment down below of one of the cards that you would put into this deck and what you would take out. Or you can let us know what we missed, what glaring omission that we left out that was an auto include in your mind. Or you can just tell us that we did a great job and that you love our upgrades. Or you can just troll us and tell us why we suck. All of those kinds of comments are welcome. And we will take that into consideration whenever we are picking our winner. So don't just say hi or hey, I like this deck or whatever. Leave a thoughtful comment. We do read them all and we try to respond to all of them. We usually narrow it down to our favorite comments and then do kind of a wheel picker. And that is our process. So that is how you're going to enter to win. And with no further ado, let's check out Jeskai Striker. So first up, let's look at the face commander of this deck. This is Shiko and Narset unified. It is 1 blue, red, white for a 4/4 human spirit dragon. There's a lot of spirits in this. There's a lot of dragons. There's a lot of humans in this. That is what this set is all about. This particular deck, though, is not as dragon tuned as some of the other ones are. This one is more about spell slinging and paying off casting the instant sorcery. So let's read what Shiko and Narset are going to do for us. Flying and Vigilance, and then they have Flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy that spell if it targets a permanent or a player. Then you may choose new targets for the copy. If you don't copy a spell this way, draw a card. So it basically says you can either draw a card or you can copy the spell. So we kind of are going to lean into the copying spells. You will see with the rest of these cards what the game plan is, but let's look quickly at the backup commander first. This is Elsha, Threefold Master. She just cost Jeskai, which is another word for the color combination of blue, red, white. People refer to that as Jeskai. If you wondered what that means, people use it commonly to refer to that particular 3-color. Elsha is a 1/1 Djinn monk, and she has Trample. And she also has Prowess, so whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Whenever Elsha deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 white monk creature tokens with Prowess. So you go to combat, she's got Trample, someone says, yeah, I'll just take the 1, and then you can cast some spells in response to that, buff her up, and then make that many 1/1s, so you can end up making quite a few 1/1s. As you'll see, making 1/1s and other tokens is going to be a main focus here. One of the main payoffs for casting the instants and sorceries, or just non-creature spells. Prowess cares about that as well. But that's going to be a big part of our game plan. Quickly, let's just look at the rest of the new cards that got announced. These are going to all stay in the deck for the most part. We don't like to cut new cards unless they just absolutely make no sense in the strategy and the game plan of what we're going for, because we want you guys to be able to play with the new stuff. First up, we've got an artifact. This is Adaptive Training Post. It costs 2 and a blue. And it says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if this artifact has fewer than 3 charge counters on it, put a charge counter on it. Remove 3 charge counters from this artifact. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. So Adaptive Training Post is another way to make copies of our spells. Next, we have Aligned Heart. This is 2 and a white for an enchantment that has Flurry. Again, just like our commander. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a rally counter on this enchantment, then create a 1/1 monk creature token with Prowess for each rally counter on it. So again, more token generation, more payoff for the instant and sorceries with Flurry. We also have got Caldera Pyremaw. This is a dragon for 3 red. It's a 3/3, has flying, and it says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, then this creature deals damage equal to its power to target opponent. So this thing is going to chip away here and there as we are making copies of our instants and sorceries as well. So this thing's going to get big. We also have Tempest Technique. This is 3 and a white for an enchantment aura, and it has Storm. It says enchant creature you control. The enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. This is maybe a card that wouldn't stick in this deck. It's very good. It has Storm, so I understand kind of why it's here because we are focused on instants and sorceries. But this might be better in an Enchantress deck, but I do see why it's here. We also have Transcendent Dragon. This is 4 blue for a 4/3 with flash and flying, and it says when it enters, if you cast it, counter a target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into graveyard, and then you can cast it without paying its mana cost. So creature spells are spells as long as they're on the stack, so you could take control of something so gross potentially with this. Next, we have Transforming Flourish for 2 and a red. This one has Demonstrate. This says destroy target creature or artifact you don't control. If that permanent is destroyed this way, its controller exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. Then they may cast it without paying its mana cost. So sort of like a Chaos Warp. We also have Voracious Bibliophile. This is 3 and a blue for a dragon with flying and vigilance. It says whenever you cast a spell with 1 or more targets, draw that many cards. So a good card draw engine for a deck that has a lot of targeted stuff. That's going to be things like counter spells or removal. It's not going to work with like board wipes or things that don't target something, but this is still very good in a spell slinger deck, plus a 3/3 flyer with vigilance, so really good. And then lastly, we have Will of the Jeskai. This is 3 and a red. They have made a Will of the, and then fill in the blank for every faction for this set. And it's similar to some cards we've seen in the past where if you choose your commander, you can choose both modes instead. So things like the Wills, Jessica's Will, Achroma's Will, those kinds of cards, where if you control your commander, you get both options. And it is Will of the Jeskai. So very similar, but you choose one, and if you control a commander, you can choose both instead. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards, or each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until the end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its cost, so that's going to let us recast stuff that's already in our graveyard, which can be really good in this deck. We've got a lot of cheap spells that we can cast, but that rounds out the new cards. So from there, let's go ahead and get into what the deck wants to do, highlight some of that, and then we'll move into the upgrade and removals. All right, so what this deck wants to do and what the commander wants to do is, it may sound very simplistic, but it's play spells, draw cards, and reap the benefits of playing the spells and refilling your hand. Secondary commander is kind of also the way we leaned into this. We're going to mostly pay off our instants and sorceries with token generation and then use those tokens to go wide and then swing out with big swings to defeat our enemies. So with no further ado, let's all jump into what you're here for, the upgrades and what we've cut. Before we jump into that, please like and subscribe. We're getting super close to our goal of 5,000 subscribers, and once we hit that goal, we're going to do more huge giveaways. We'll give away tons of precons, tons of singles, accessories, all kinds of stuff. We're going to do Commander starter kits. That's going to be everything from the precon, the deck, the playmat, the deck box, the sleeves, the whole of everything you need to play Commander. We'll be giving a bunch of those away. Lots and lots of other cool prizes. Please help us out. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our other videos. All right, so first up, let's start with what we took out of the deck, why we took it out of the deck. First up, super easy. We took out the Temple series of lands. So that's going to be Temple of Triumph, Temple of Epiphany, and Temple of Enlightenment. These are always some of the first lands I cut possible. I hate tapped lands that there's no condition that can be met. They intertap no matter what, and Scry is just not powerful enough. There are definitely other lands that come in tapped that can do some stuff that makes sense in the deck. The hideaway lands are good, so I'm not always against tapped lands, but when for minimal financial upgrade we can put lands that come in conditionally, things just go much more smoothly and you get where you want to go much more quickly when you don't have to have lands come in tapped. We took those out. We also took out a single mountain. So that's what we cut land-wise. And then from there, we cut Ancestral Vision. This is the spell that comes in. It is suspended 4. So that means you have to remove 4 counters on it. So it's going to take a while to get to it. But then also with our commander, the timing restriction just doesn't let us pay this off super well. There are just better options out there. Next, we took out Curse of Opulence. Curse of Opulence is good. It does ramp you because you get to make artifact treasures, but then your opponents also get to do that. It's a good utility card. We just wanted to try to focus up the deck. The next one we took out was Electro Dominance. X red, and you can deal X damage to any target. You can cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana cost that is also X or less. Electro Dominance is a good card. We just made room for some more synergists. Similar to the expansion Explosion, you can pick one side or the other to cast from this. Copy target instant or sorcery spell with mana cost 4 or less. You can choose new targets for the copy, or you can deal X damage to target, and target player draws X cards. But it's a little too expensive. It's 2 blue, 2 red, and then X, so just a little too much. We also took out Faithless Looting. It's 1 red, draw 2 cards, and discard 2 cards. We can draw cards a plethora of other ways. Faithless Looting has us discarding cards. We don't really need cards in the graveyard. Next, we took out Lear, Disciple of the Drown. This one also is just a little expensive. It's 3 blue, and it does say that spells can't be countered, which is good. And it gives instants and sorceries in your graveyard flashback, which could also be good. Again, we are drawing enough cards that we're not going to really need what's in our graveyard per se. We also got rid of Magma Opus, which is 6 blue red, so 8. Deal 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. Tap 2 target permanents, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, and draw 2 cards. So it does a lot. It's just getting there. 8 mana is a lot, and we want to hit that second spell to be able to copy it. Similarly to Mana Geyser, 3 red. Add red to your mana pool for each tapped land your opponents control. This could be huge, but it only provides us with 1 color mana, red, in a deck that isn't the primary color, and we don't have a ton of mana sinks, or we don't have any like crazy big X spells that we want to like pour that mana into, so it just kind of didn't make a ton of sense. We also got rid of Mangara the Diplomat, a human cleric with lifelink for 3 and white. When an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you or a planeswalker you control, you draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. This might be okay. It just doesn't play into what we want to do, and we've got tons of really efficient ways to draw cards outside of this. We're also getting rid of Prismari Command. It is 1 blue red. This is a good spell. We're cutting good stuff, guys. This deck was pretty good. We just tuned it up a little bit. The cards that were here are very playable cards. You can choose 2. It deals 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards and discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token or destroy target artifact. We also got rid of Rite of Replication. 2 blue, and then you can kick it for 5, so a total of 9. Put a token on the battlefield that's a copy of a target creature. You would have to pay 9 to really get the full value out of this. And then if you were able to copy it, it would be insane to make 5 token copies. But again, just really mana intensive. We also have Shiny Impetus for 2 and a red. You enchant a target creature, it gets +2/+2 and is goaded. And then whenever the creature attacks, you create a treasure token. So you're going to make 1 treasure per turn cycle with this. We don't play into any goad mechanics, so Shiny Impetus just doesn't really belong here. We're also cutting Sublime Epiphany for 4 blue. You choose 1 or more. Again, this is a spell that can do a whole lot, but there's an initial investment of 6 mana, so we wouldn't be able to get to this until later in the game, potentially. And again, we want this to be the second spell we've cast this turn. So we would have to have, like a 1-drop on the front end and then follow that up with 6 here. Plus it's an instant, and some of the modes are counter target spell or counter activated ability. You want those at instant speed. You want to be using those modes if possible. So it's probably not going to be the second spell you've cast this turn anyway. And you can return a target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and you make a token that's a copy of target creature you don't control, and target player draws a card. Also getting rid of a really good board wipe, which is Vanquish the Horde for 6 white, but it costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield and destroy all creatures. We have some other removal here. We're not really looking to wipe the board in a go wide deck, so that's why this also got cut. And then we have Bellamachus Lorehold, an Elder Dragon, 5 red, white, so 7 for a flyer, vigilant, hasty boy, a 5/5, and whenever it attacks, you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You can cast an instant sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to Lorehold's power from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So 7 on the front end, and it does have haste, so you can pay it off quickly, but again, you could whiff here. And then lastly, we did take out one of the new cards, which I hate to do in a new Precon. We want you guys to play with the new cards. That being said, this card, we talked about it earlier. It's Tempest Technique. It's the new enchantment aura that has Storm. So it has Storm. That's why it's here. Outside of that, it doesn't really synergize with the rest of this deck. Enchant creature you control, it gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. We're not really looking to like Voltron something here. We're not looking to buff up one particular creature. We're looking to make a bunch of creatures and buff them all. So rather have something that does that. So that's what we took out. We took out 20 cards. And then, of course, that means we added in 20 cards. So we can start looking now at adds. These are the cards we added. These are what we felt would help focus the deck. The deck was very good straight out of the box. The new cards are, minus the one enchantment we just talked about, are pretty synergistic. But anyway, let's look at the new cards. All right, so I'm going to ask one last time before we start the ads. Please like and subscribe. It helps our channel grow a ton. Last time we did these giveaways, we got over 600 new subscribers, which is incredible. So thank you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the comments and the encouraging words. And thank you for all the constructive criticism. We do take your comments seriously. So jump down in there and let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. All right. So first up, we added an offer you can't refuse. It is 1 blue for a counter spell. It counters a non-creature spell, and then its controller makes 2 treasure tokens. So a 1-drop counter spell is good. We also added Balmor Battle Mage Captain. It is blue and a red, and this is potentially a closeout card for us if we've had the setup and we've got a good token army going, especially if we have the monks with prowess. When you cast an instant or sorcery, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until the end of turn. So if you stack some prowess triggers on and you've got some 4/4s or 5/5s, all with trample coming out, you can close out the game pretty quickly like that. We also have Call the Copper Coats. This can also be a game ender. It is 2 and a white for an instant, so you do this like right before passes your turn. You can pay the strive costs for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X11 human soldier creature tokens where X is the number of creatures those opponents control. So if someone else has got a go wide board or even 6 or so creatures, you can target them. If you want to target more than one when you cast it, you can pay the strive cost. Or if it's the second spell you've cast, you can copy it. So then you would get 2 targets, or you can target the same player twice, and then you make that many 1/1s, and you pass to your turn, and you've just got a massive stage. Next, we've got Coruscation Mage. This is 1 and a red for an Otter Wizard. Wizard is important here. It has Offspring too, so when you cast it, you can pay an extra 2 generic mana and make a 1/1 token copy of this card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to opponent. We also have like Gutter Snipe in the deck, which does the same thing. Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent, but if you make the second copy of Coruscation Mage, it will also, because we have separate triggers. Wizard is important. Next, we have added Deserted Beach. That's just going to be a conditional land that comes in, potentially untapped. That's what we replace the temple with. We've also got Frostboil Snarl, another one of those aforementioned additional lands. We've also got Gitaxian Probe. Gitaxian Probe is really good because you choose to pay life for the mana cost instead of paying the blue, and you look at a target player's hand and draw a card. Gitaxian Probe is very good and maybe a little underrated in casual pods. 1, because you can pay life to play it instead of mana, but 2, because towards the end of a game, you may have a game-ending play in your hand, but you're afraid one of the opponents might have an answer. So if you're worried about something that one of the other players has, you can just target that player, see what they've got if they've got an answer. And next, we've added Harmonic Prodigy. This is why I say the card type was important. This is a human wizard for 1 and a red. It's a 1/3 with prowess, so it has prowess triggers, which is great. If an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So we are going to be doubling up on our triggers for shamans and wizards, and many of the cards we have here meet both of those. Next, we have Heliod's Intervention. This is X white white. Choose 1, destroy X target enchantments or artifacts, or a target player gains twice X life. So then if you use the commander to copy this, you'll destroy twice as many artifacts and enchantments, or you'll gain 4 times as much life. So this could be a little bit of versatility in the end game. You can get rid of some stuff, or you can gain a whole bunch of life. Next, we have Hinata Dawn Crown. This is a really good card, especially here. It is a flying trampler for 1 and Jeskai. Has flying and trample, so can get in for a good amount of damage, but also spells you cast costs 1 less to cast for each target. So as long as the spell is targeting something, it'll get a reduction. And then spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast for each target. So increase the cost of counters and removal and those kinds of things. With our ability to make a bunch of tokens, and you're going to see that we've added some more ways to make tokens besides what was here, we are going to add impact trimmers. Impact trimmers can absolutely close out a game, especially with something like all the copper coats. But whenever a creature you control enters, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent. So not target opponent, it's all your opponents. So impact trimmers can absolutely close out a game. We also have Jeskai Ascendancy. It is Jeskai. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn. Untap those creatures. So you can tap creatures, do whatever, and then if you cast an instant or sorcery, you untap, which is really nice because you can go to combat and swing everything out, cast an instant or sorcery, and untap, and you've got all your blockers back. And that's not even the best part of the card. The best part of the card is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So it's going to move you through the deck a little bit, but it's going to get you access to cards. Next, we have Kaikar Wind's Fury. This is 1 and Jeskai. For a bird wizard, again, wizard, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token flying. So again, wizard matters because we can double up those triggers. We're going to make white spirits, and then we can sacrifice those spirits for red mana. So that's nice too. We also have the newer Kaikar, which came out in Foundations. We were ambassadors for that set too. This is a bird wizard, again, wizard, and has flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can choose one. You can still make a 1/1 spirit creature token flying, but you can also exile another target creature you control and then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. You can blink something essentially, so you'll take it away. Anything that was targeting it will fizzle, or you can just do this to save your things from a board wipe. Next, we've also added Negate. It is 1 and a blue to counter target non-creature spell. Roar of Resistance can also be a close out card for us. It's an enchantment that is 1 and a red, and it says creature tokens you control have haste. Whenever 1 or more creatures attack, you can pay 1 and a red. If you do, creatures attacking your opponents and or planeswalkers they control get +2/+0 until the end of turn. Next, we have Shark Typhoon. 5 and a blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, make an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's mana value. So that is going to include copies. So Shark Typhoon can absolutely go bonkers with this, or you can cycle it and you pay X to discard it and draw a card. And when you cycle it, you make an XX blue shark creature token with flying. So if in the early game, you're not going to get around to casting it for several turns and you don't want to hold it, keep the dead card in your hand, you can cycle it instead and still make one of those tokens. But yeah, if you can get this out and it sticks and you're casting a 2-drop here, a 4-drop there, this absolutely get out of hand. We also have added Skull Clamp because card draw is fantastic, and we're making a bunch of 1/1s, so Skull Clamp can do some serious work in this deck as well. Equipped creature gets +1/-1, so if you equip it to a 1/1, it will instantly die. Whenever an equipped creature dies, you draw 2 cards. So essentially, you pay 1 mana to get it out, and from there, you pay 1 mana as the equip cost. You equip it to a 1/1, you draw 2 cards. Next, we've got Stormcarved Coast. This is another land that is conditional instead of enters tap. And then our last add is Talran Sky Summoner. 2 blue for a Merfolk Wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, make a 2/2 blue Drake creature token flying. So as you can see, we've added in quite a bit of payoff for casting instant sorceries, a lot more token generators, even though there was already a lot of token generators in the deck. So we are just going to absolutely be advancing our board state. We're hoping that we're going to outpace our opponents with our token generation. That is the game plan here. Again, we sort of have a fallback with Impact Trimmer. We also have got the Gutter Snipe and the Coruscation Mage, that those are similar. So when creatures enter, we're going to ping our opponents. When sorcerers, we're going to ping our opponents. The only thing we don't do is go infinite, at least not on purpose. I haven't searched and scoured the deck enough to know whether or not there might be an incidental infinite here, but certainly not what we're going for. The go wide strategy. We are looking to churn through and draw a bunch of cards, refilling our hand, and tons of mana ramp. I think we've got something like 7 rocks in here. We ended up at 35 lands instead of the 38, which again is going to be fine with all the ramp and reduction that we've got. So thank you so much for sticking around and checking out this video. We really appreciate your time spent here with us. Check out our other social medias. Go follow us there. We do giveaways and other things there as well. We have a Patreon if you want to support us, or you can become a member down below if you want to support us there as well. all the money that we make from doing this goes right back into the channel, paying for the giveaways and shipping costs and all those kinds of things. We don't keep it for ourselves. We just want to continue growing and you guys. So thank you again so much. Stick around. The next Precon giveaway video will be out tomorrow, and we hope to see you back. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.